Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Chasing Leadville 100. I'm joined by Bart and Shane. These are going to be my Leadville Pacers, but we just went out for a beautiful run here in Brighton Alta Loop, and this is how it went.
Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness, telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Find myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for.
So I've been asked so many times what my shoe rotation is right now, so I'm gonna walk you guys through what shoes I wear, the occasions that I wear them for, and how often that I'm currently training in them for. So first off, we will start with road shoes. My favorite shoe right now for the road is the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. These are the brand new Endorphin Speeds. I actually did not like the Endorphin Speed 3s, really love the Endorphin Speed 2s, but I actually really love the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4s. I feel like they're super supportive, really cushiony, but not too cushiony to where you feel like you're like all of your energy is being sucked into the ground. Nice little pop. These also have a nylon plate in them, so not a full carbon shoe, but still a nice speedy shoe for recovery road days. You guys have seen me in this colorway if you follow me on Instagram, but I absolutely love the color, obviously, but definitely more suitable for someone with a more narrow forefront. I think if you have a super wide foot, you might not enjoy this, but it does have a nice rocker profile as well, so it makes running a little bit speedier, easier as well. So love the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4s. Another road shoe that I cycle through are the New Balance Fuel Cells. These are actually my first New Balance that I've ever owned, and I actually really enjoy this shoe as well for just easy road running. It is plated, but I don't know if that I would actually ever race in this because I don't think that it's speedy enough for someone who's looking to really hit speed hard. So I do love this as just a general training shoe. It does run a little bit wider, as you can tell. In comparison to the Sauconys, significantly wider in the forefront. So if you're someone who is looking for a wider shoe that you still kind of like the profile of the Saucony, I think that New Balance would be a really great option. So I love these New Balance, definitely something that I'll keep in my rotation after Leadville. These are the two speedy shoes that I have in my repertoire. The first being the Tier Valkyrie. I actually was gifted these. I actually modeled the launch campaign for these, so I got these free of charge, just full transparency. I love the colorway. I love a white shoe with a black detail. I will say the upper mesh in this is not very comfortable, so it doesn't have much give to it at all, but the actual profile of the shoe, being a carbon plated shoe and definitely having like this strong roller profile, really makes running fast super duper easy. So I would actually really love to see Tier come out with a upper mesh that's a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more forgiving. I think that would be really cool to see. But for our first ever race shoe coming from Tier, I think these are really, really stellar. And then we have the Nike Vaporflies. These are a really common shoe for people who are racing marathons to train in, anything like half marathon to marathon distance. A lot of people love these shoes. I wore these for my Ironman run portions, and I do actually really like training in these. They are really fast. I will say, I think for my gait, I don't love the support in these at all. Obviously, like we're getting like super thin mesh here. There's no general support on the top portion of the foot in the upper mesh, but I do like, once again, the rocker profile, obviously very speedy, super duper lightweight. I haven't tried the Alpha Flies at all, and I think that I might like those a little bit better than these Vaporflies, but this is what I have in my repertoire for speed. Obviously, I'm an ultra runner, so I don't do a ton of speed. It's not my main training session for the week, so I definitely like having this option in my back pocket for my speedier days, but it's kind of a toss-up between these and the Tier Valkyries for me for speed. Next we'll go to my training shoe. So this is a shoe that I only wear for lifting. Obviously, if you look at the profile of it, this is a really good shoe to keep you stable and in place when you're doing a leg day, when you're just training in the gym. I don't like to wear runners in the gym if I'm not running. To me, I feel like there's time and place for running shoe, and lifting is definitely not that for me. So these are the Reebok Nano Flex. I do really like these. I feel like the grip on the bottom is really stellar. They've held up really well for me in the gym. I do love the colorway. I love a plain white shoe, and I love this like natural gum on the bottom as well. As you can see in the toe box, it's definitely a lot wider than your average running shoe. This makes for a lot more comfortable of a lift because your toes have a little bit more room to spread out and kind of grip yourself. So if you're doing anything like lunges, squats, anything like that, this is a really great option. These are super affordable as well. So Reebok Nano Flex, I believe they're the version 2. Love, love, love this shoe for training. It's the only shoe that I'm currently using regularly for training in the gym, that is. And then we have the only trail shoe that I'm going to share because I went through 6 months of trying to find my 100-miler training shoe. Trying out trail shoes is super important, specifically before your race, but it can also be something that can injure you. So if you don't have the right fit and you're out on a technical trail, it's really easy to get injured when you're not having proper support and a shoe that fits your anatomy and your gait and your running style properly. So I'm so glad that I finally found my shoe that I'm going to be racing Leadville 100 in, and that is the Nike Zagama 2. So this is an update to the original Nike Zagamas, and I actually did not really love the Nike Zagama 1. I actually have the Nike Zagama 1s to show you. This is a fresh, clean pair as well. But as you can see in the ones, there's a lot of cushion in this shoe, but I didn't necessarily like how much cushion was in the forefoot. I felt like it was just so bulky. I would catch my toes constantly on rocks. I just felt like it was too bulky of a shoe. And I do feel like they made some really great adjustments. So obviously there's still great cushion in the Nike Zagama 2s, but in comparison to the one, I feel like it's a lot more agile in this forefront region. It just feels significantly better. And even this back heel portion, as you can see, the original Zagama, the actual cushioning on the bottom shoots out past your heel quite a bit, but it's interconnected to the heel. This is completely separate, so I feel like you get a lot more stability in the back heel portion of the shoe. They actually also updated the soles to be Vibram in the Nike Zagama 2s. We didn't have the Vibram sole in the original Zagamas. So I really like the updates that they did on these Zagamas. I feel like they're also quite a bit lighter, which is really great as well. That was my #1 complaint with the ones, but I absolutely love these. I have 2 of these currently in my rotation. If you're out training on a daily basis, it's really important to cycle your shoes. If you don't give this cushion enough time to kind of bounce back and refill with air, you're just gonna be constantly compressing the same shoe over and over and over, and you're just gonna kill your shoes way faster. So I do have 2 in my rotation. Obviously I got these first. You can tell this was originally white. It is not white anymore, and these have gone on a couple trail runs for me as well. We've gotten quite a bit of miles on these. I think we're past the threshold of the 300 miles, so you can kind of see there's a little bit more wear on the tread than the newer ones that I've gotten, and then a little bit of compression on the cushion below as well. So you can actually see that this shoe looks quite a bit taller than this one, just because I've gotten so many more miles in these over the weeks of training for Leadville 100. So I absolutely love this trail shoe. Once again, it's the only one currently in my rotation because I found the one that I will be racing in, and this is what I've been running in on a daily basis. So absolutely love the Nike Zagama ones. I hope that was helpful for y'all to see what my current shoe rotation is. If you have any questions, leave them down below. But I want to reiterate that what works for me might not be the choice that works for you. So if you're interested in getting fitted for running shoes, that would be my #1 recommendation for new runners, is to go get fitted at a local shop. They can assess your foot anatomy, they can assess your running gait to fit a shoe that works best for you, or that might be a good option for you. So I have pretty narrow feet, I have really high arches, and what else? I'm also female, so my shoe choice might be a little bit different from something that you like. So this is just what works for me, and I hope that helps. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets, I've become a little stronger now.
your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out.
Okay, we're gonna do a quick tutorial on how I cut my tees into cutoff tanks. So this is one of my unbreakable tees in this beautiful blue. This is an already cut yellow cutoff tank. So I've been asked so many times on how I cut these, so I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. It's really simple, not much to it, no like measurements or anything crazy like that. But we start with a flat surface, so I'm just gonna use the back of my car. I lay the shirt down, face up. So it's face up. I'll just smooth it out to make sure it's good. If you have a tank that you already like the cut of, you can always just like put it up and measure it and be really exact with it. I generally don't do that just because I've done this so many times that I feel like I've crafted the science. And also, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the whole point of a cutoff tee, right? So what I do first is I'll actually go 3 fingers from the seam of the collar. So I'll go 3 fingers and I'll make a tiny slit just as a marker right on that. And then I'll go 3 fingers the other way, boom. The key with this is to not cut off too much on your first go, because you can always cut off more, but you can never add more to the shirt. So 3 fingers there, and then it depends on how much actual side you want to show. That's going to depend on how close to the sleeve that you cut. So generally I'll start about here and then I'll start cutting more if I feel like it needs it. But I'll generally go like 4 fingers from the end of the sleeve. So here would be 4 fingers here, do a little mark again, boom, 4 fingers here, do a little mark again. Once again, not super scientific at all. So I will cut the sleeves before I cut the length of the tank, but I'll just go in, make sure it's flat. From that initial mark, it's actually not super flat. And then I'll literally just go from here to here. No science, no Sharpies or markers or anything like that. I'll just cut up towards that mark. Not going in like super far, but just a slight little swoop. Just like that, boom. And once again, if you want to be more exact, you can actually fold this over and match it to the other side, but I don't really feel like I need to do that. So we just go in from the same little mark here, and we'll swoop it up towards this little notch here. Boom. And this is super common to get where we've like skipped a little bit. That's actually on the back side. So I'll just go in and just be a little bit more exact with that. It really doesn't matter all too much to me, but boom, just like that. So looks pretty even. Maybe a little bit off here, but not too bad. And then I like mine cropped, so you can obviously keep yours as long as you want. If you're a dude and you don't want a crop top, you can keep it full length, but I do like mine quite cropped. So I actually just go in and try and make a semi-straight line, little crease. So go in, crease it, and then I'll go in and just notch it again. So notch on this side, notch on this side, and then I'll just match them. And this is actually quite a bit longer than this one, but I'll show you what makes a difference. So we'll just go straight across. Boom. Just look at that. And then the key with this is to actually pull on the seams so you get a little bit of rolling. So if you do that, do you see how much straighter that looks and perfect it looks? It just basically hides any of the imperfections and adds a little bit more grit to the rawness. So I just pull on all of the raw hem, raw seam, raw cuts, whatever you want to call them. And boom, there's the tank. So from this, or from this, if you look, it's pretty similar, just eyeballing it. This one's maybe a little bit longer, but you can always cut off more. So that is how I cut my tees into tanks. I hope that's helpful. I cannot believe that we are 4 weeks out from Leadville. It blows my mind, and so many of you have also commented how fast the time has gone. So thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. It really does help me out when you guys support, like, comment, and subscribe. So I am so excited to take you through another week. Next week, we are 3 weeks out from Leadville. But until then, have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. Unbreakable, baby.